Hi guys, welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. Hello Instagram, hello Facebook, hello guys. I'm gonna wait on here for a little bit. It's 7:01. Awesome morning, love. How are you? Telesa02, how are you? Jessica Sol Soto, Butterflies 19. How are you guys? Welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. Carol, love glam, love that. Catalina, thank you for joining. Rehab, is it Rehabbers Construction? I can't even read all that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. If this is your first time, please post on here that it is your first time. And if it's not your first time, I would like to know what city you guys are tuning in from. So if you guys could let me know what city you guys are tuning in from. I'm so used to having my hair back, it's actually bugging me. So again, let me know what city you guys are tuning in from if this is not your first time joining on Wealthy Wednesdays. If it's your first time, I just want you to say it's your first time. That would be fantastic. Okay, great. Also, want to give a huge shout out to my beautiful alumni. We just had alumni finish the financial boot camp, and so grateful for all of you. So if you're an alumni and you're on here, post on here that you're an alumni, and just congratulations to all of you guys for completing the course. And I know Susana, you're an alumni, so welcome. And again, thank you for always supporting and jumping on Wealthy Wednesdays as well. So again, huge shout out to the alumni that recently graduated from Financial Bootcamp. Oh, Butterflies 19, you too. Awesome. All right, great. Telesa02, first timers. Okay, great. Telesa, congratulations. Jessica, awesome. Woo, woo, woo. I love it. 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 I love seeing all the alumni join, and also just a huge shout out to you guys because you guys took yourselves on for the last 5 weeks and got to see patterns of what was happening to you guys' finances. So whoop whoop to you guys, and to my first timers, welcome. Hopefully it's not your last. And to my regulars, and I shouldn't say regulars because that sounds so like regular, to my super amazing committed Wealthy Wednesday fam. Thank you guys for always jumping on, tuning in, really your time. I really appreciate your time. My goal is to always bring value. And actually, it's interesting because I found my first Wealthy Wednesday video recently, and to the T, actually, it's been 4 years since we've been doing Wealthy Wednesday. So now I know the exact number. So it's been 4 years. I found it and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And we got Wealthy Wednesdays trademarked. So Wealthy Wednesdays is trademarked by moi right here. So I'm the Wealthy Wednesday girl. Thank you. I appreciate it, Susanna. I absolutely appreciate it. So yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. So Facebook, I can't see your comments, and maybe nobody's on there. Facebook, huge shout out if you're watching on the replay for all of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So really quick, I'm going to talk about the boot camp. The boot camp that just finished. It was the last boot camp of 2020. We did, I'm going to say 7 boot camps this year. And we've had, pretty much every 5 weeks they were rolling out. And so, um, thankfully, we are complete with the one for 2020. We will be having and launching dates very soon for the 2021. So if you guys want to be placed on the waiting list so you guys can be the first ones to know when the dates are coming out, you can email me at eva@evamacias.com. You can email me and we will actually say, please add me to the bootcamp waiting list, and we will add you to the bootcamp waiting list. And as soon as we roll out dates, you guys will be the first ones to know, just in case you missed it in other times, because I've had people say, oh my God, I've missed it every single time. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad. Yes, Evie, thank you so much. I love your videos, by the way. Love your testimonials. I think just truly from the bottom of my heart, considering that you didn't even know what you were getting yourself into. Thank you to your sister. So huge shout out to you as well. So again, if you want to know the boot camp, the new dates, you guys are more than welcome to also give me, like, for example, if your girlfriend's been telling you, oh, I want to join, but there's no dates, you can be placed on the waiting list. So just email us and we will place you on the waiting list. So that's that. And then if you want to get a free copy of my wealth my book, Latina's Guide to Money, you can also sign up for it. Put your email, we'll send you a free e-copy. Check your junk spam, all those folders, because I tend to go there. But if you want to purchase it on Amazon, you're more than welcome to. Latina's Guide to Money, you can get it overnighted. It's like $20, I believe, and boom, you can get that. So just wanted to throw that out there. Hello, I lost your page for months. So glad I found you again. Right here. Myra, I believe KW Realty. I'm right here. Wealthy Wednesdays led me to financial boot camp, which I truly appreciate your energy, knowledge, and hope in finances. Woo, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Absolutely. The goal is to always be providing value to you guys. So, all right, so let's get to, don't put it on here, Myra. I know you're putting it on here to possibly get you, but I won't be able to from here. I need you to email me to eva@evamacias.com. Email me letting me know that you want to get placed on the waiting list, and we will place you on the waiting list for the next financial boot camp, okay? Monica Romo, hello, what's up, girl? So yes, thank you, Myra, I appreciate it. It's just because here it'll be too hard for me to keep track, so I got to be present, because if not, I have a lot of squirrel moments. For those that know me, you guys know I have some squirrel moments. And so let's get to today's topic, because I think it's really important, especially right now for those that just finished boot camp. Everything we talk about is finances, right? So let's talk about today's topic. So today's topic is about myths about your budget. So I want you guys to give me some reasons on why you don't budget. So throw them out here. If you guys can throw them out here, that would be fantastic. So if you guys can throw a few of them out, I would really appreciate it. I have some of my own that I, in the past, have been in conversation, or my belief about budgets have been this. So I want to know from you guys, what are some of your beliefs around budgeting? And if you've taken the boot camp, it would be pre-boot camp, not after boot camp, okay? So give me ignorance, okay? Tell me more, Ileana. So just, are they ignorant, or just you're ignorant about them, or tell me more about that? I just want to be clear about that. So give me some myths that you guys, I failed to stick to them. Perfect. That's great. So you failed to stick to them. Okay, so pre-reality check. I know, I think that's Cynthia, right? Or Cindy. Reality check, right? Okay. All right, so budgets are a reality check sometimes. Temptatious07 says unrealistic on a monthly salary, ignorant about them. Okay, thank you, Liana, for that. I really appreciate that. Okay, great. Anything else that comes up for anybody else? I want to know. Failed to stick to it as well. Okay, didn't learn about it. Perfect. Okay, keep coming. Bring them, please, 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 please. How many of you think they just take too long to like figure out? Just curious. Yes, absolutely, Telesa 02, yes, absolutely. That's what I said before boot camp. You didn't learn about them, right? So again, the question is, how many of you think it's just, you don't have a lot of time, right? Like you don't have a lot of time. Impossible to accomplish. Monica, I appreciate that. Impossible to accomplish. That's great on that. Brenducha, I believe, it's you have to do cash envelopes. Okay, that's great. Some people, cash is actually completely, that doesn't work for them. So, you know, it's not a matter of having to do it. It's finding your, like, what works for you. Because I know if you give cash to some people that just spend all this money, they will spend the money, right? So again, what are your myths, or not your myths, but what are your conversations or your beliefs around budgeting? I just want you to throw them out there, right? So some of you have said you've been ignorant about them, failed to stick to them. They're unrealistic every single month. They're a reality check, and sometimes you don't want to have a reality check. You know what I mean? Then it gets really real. You'd rather watch a reality show instead, and it not be your life. It'd be somebody else's life, like the Kardashians or something, you know? So let me go ahead. I'm just zero self-control. Thank you for your honesty, Lash Wax. I appreciate that. And Monica, they're just impossible to accomplish. So let's talk about budgets, and let's talk about the myths, right? I totally understand all of you guys. I have felt the exact same way. And I have felt the exact same way. Thank you for the love, by the way. Whoever is giving me all those hearts, I absolutely appreciate that. You don't even understand what that does to me on this side of it. I'm like, oh. But I have felt the exact same way, guys. I have felt that like I can't, it's impossible to accomplish them. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if it's going to really work. I don't have any proven results from anybody. It's not like I'm be like, hey, look at my money. Like, look at my budget. Does this work? You know what I mean? You're not going to go to your siblings. First of all, you probably don't even want them to know how much you make, right? And whatever the situation is, or maybe you do want it, like maybe you do. I don't know the family dynamic that you have, but at the end of the day, it feels like it's like an impossible task to complete. And that's not including all of the belief systems that we have around the fact that not only is it impossible, but I don't know if I can trust myself. Um, Also, I'm going to feel like I'm going to limit myself, and I work really hard to limit myself. And it's probably going to take too long for me to figure out, right? So all these blah 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 blah, and then you don't do it. You've convinced yourself that it's going to be all these things, and then you don't do it. The interesting thing about budgets is I can tell you this much from all the clients that I see now, because I've been practicing this for such a long time. I can create someone's budget in less than 5 minutes. Like, I know it sounds really crazy and very like, yeah, right. But really, I can, because I've been doing this. And every household has a foundation of budget, right? Because it's depending on the amount of income that you bring in. And so budgets don't take that long, okay? Budgets are not stressful. If you think about it, what's a lot more stressful? Thinking about your budget or maybe even doing it? Some of you are saying thinking about it, because if you start doing it and it starts creating results, it actually is not that difficult. I have two stories to kind of go over and why I think this is so important and why I wanted to talk about these myths about it. So first of all, it doesn't take that long. If you obviously go to someone like myself, who has been doing this for some time, we start you off there at a budget. That's where you need to start. It's done quickly, so you don't waste all this time trying to figure it out. You don't know what to figure out if this is something new to you, right? So that's one. And if you can't come see me or come have a conversation with me, buy my book. It's all in my book. If you want further, then obviously, you make an appointment. But buy my book, get it in there, and I teach you about that. That's one. Second thing is, when it comes to budgeting, we normally tend to um, not want to deal with the fact that we're probably spending on things that don't matter. I call them shenanigans, on the shenanigans that don't matter, and we don't want that to be pointed out. We don't care, like, we don't even want to point, we don't want us to realize that we've been spending on that. We've been avoiding it because it's easier to avoid. The pain of avoiding is a lot easier than the pain of making the change. So hear me out on that. The pain of avoiding is a lot easier than the pain of change, right? The name of my book is A Latina's Guide to Money. So think about that. You would rather live in pain than to actually live in the pain of the change, because you're living in pain either way, right? It hurts to be broke. It hurts to make a change. The only difference is the result. And so think about that. So I'm going to give you two examples. One is a client of mine who, for many years, probably now a good 4 or 5 years, I started her off and I said, you need to budget yourself. This is where it starts. And I remember her telling me multiple times, like, oh my God, this just seems so unobtainable, like paying off my, at the time she had less than $15,000 of debt. It just seems like it's so far out. And for her to have for her to have a savings of over $100,000 just seemed like forever. But what she didn't realize, that once she got committed and once she got serious and once she really started to implement the budget, what was happening was it wasn't getting harder. It was actually getting easier. So hear me out on that. When you think it's hard, it's hard to live paycheck by paycheck, right? It's really hard to do that. So imagine if the opposite would be, if you, maybe it's hard the first, let's just say 3 months, but after the 3 months, it's actually going to be easier and easier and easier. You might end up liking it, where it now becomes your lifestyle, where you pay yourself first and then you spend, versus spending first and then you save, right? And so this person literally said, I can't believe that I run everything on my budget, and if it's not in the budget, it doesn't happen, one, and I didn't think it was going to be this easy and enjoyable saving money. So coming from the same person that said, I don't know if I can, It just seems like it's going to take too long. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if my husband's going to be on board with this. And this family has over $100,000 in their savings. Mind you, they didn't get it overnight. I would say in the last probably 2 years or so, that's when they've really like, they own their own business. So that's when they're like, okay, prior to that, they might have less than $6,000 in their bank account. I said, stick to my formula. Stick to this formula. It works. Well, proven results. 2.5 years later, boom, $100,000 in their savings. Magic. Not magic from Eva Macias. It was a structure from Eva Macias. Me continuously like, hey, you got this, you can do this. Remember, if it's not in the budget, it doesn't matter. Who cares if your friends all have Louis Vuittons and you don't have one? It's okay because you don't know if they have $100,000 in the bank. Like, don't get it twisted. It's the priorities of your life, right? And so again, made it happen. I have a friend of mine who and I understand, weight loss, and I'm no one to speak about weight loss, but this person weighed about 400, I think, and 25 pounds. So think about just the concept, about 425 pounds. And he used to say, it's too hard, it's not going to work, I've tried everything. Like, he already was convincing himself that it was going to fail. How many of you have done that, whether it be with the diet, and I'm not talking about diets, but like with health or with your budget, right? Here specifically, we're talking about money or a budget. And what ended up happening was that in the first, I think it was 2 weeks or the first 3 weeks of this particular, not diet, but like regimen, like health regimen, he lost 25 pounds. That gave him the courage to continue. He's like, okay, 25 pounds. Like, this motivates me to keep going. All right, 25 pounds. So 25 pounds was 1 month. And then it just kept going, and then it just kept going. And mind you, he's lost over 200 pounds in a matter of, I believe it's a year and a half, and he's been able to maintain it off and still being able to enjoy healthy lifestyle. Again, he thought it was going to be harder than what he was already setting himself up to lose. He wasn't even giving himself a chance to win. So even though one scenario is about weight and one scenario is about money, the belief system was the same. It's too hard. I don't have time. It's going to be difficult. I don't know if I'm going to accomplish it, right? All of the things that you guys have given me, all of the really excuses of why not to do it. But what you haven't given a chance is, what if it did work? What if I did like it? What if I'm really good at it, but I haven't given myself the chance to be really good at it? Think about that. Because some of you are actually really good at managing your money. You just got lazy, or you just got derailed from your vision. And so I encourage you to start understanding what budgets are about. Budgets are this. Budgets are you telling your money where to go versus your money going where it wants to go. And it's not like money wants to go anywhere, but it's like this. And I said this, and I think it was Evie who said this, like, are you funding your dreams? Are you budgeting for your dreams? Or are you spending and budgeting for other people's dreams? And what I mean by that is, when you have your money, or when you give yourself a budget, you're giving your money boundaries. You're giving yourself the boundaries of saying, I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z, and therefore these boundaries are healthy so that I can accomplish all those things, right? Think about it. You have the boundary of saying, I'm going to save $200 a month. Like, it doesn't matter if I have to eat bean burritos, which, by the way, I miss bean burritos so much, so much, because I'm not eating them because I'm nursing. But anyways, again, like, if you're going to say, I'm going to eat bean burritos, I'm just saying bean burritos because most of you are Latin and you guys will get it. I'm going to eat bean burritos for like a week because I didn't know how to manage my money. Not because you're poor, because you're not poor. You're not poor. You might have poor mind, like poor belief system, but you're not poor. Okay? And so think about that. Like, do you want to like put that money aside and stick to your boundaries, or do you want to say, you know what, forget it, nobody cares whether I have money or not? You're right about that, nobody does, so this is why you should care even more. And because of that, I'm just going to blow it on whatever. I'm going to get in credit card debt. I'm going to go and buy everything from Target. I'm going to go buy everything from Amazon. I'm going to go buy Starbucks galore, and I'm just going to live my life because I don't know if I'm going to be gone tomorrow. Think about that. But You're right too. Like, we don't know. But the thing is, we don't know if we're going to live till we're 100, and we don't know if we're going to be gone tomorrow. And so that's why you get to be the boundary that says, since I don't know what's going to happen on either end, I'm going to make sure that I always have for both of those circumstances. If I were to, knock on wood, be gone tomorrow, that I have lived a fulfilled life. And if I live till I'm 100, that I will make sure that I always have, so that this way I can take care of myself without being a financial burden to someone. Because nobody will tell you that you're a financial burden. Nobody will. And if they do, that's some honesty and some real relationships. But they won't tell you that, because it's easier for them not to tell you than to possibly get into an argument or those conversations. And so when budgeting, it doesn't take that long. It's quite simple. The big question really comes down to is, what do you want? Because once you're committed about what you want, the budgeting actually comes naturally, because your why of what you want becomes greater than your excuse of what you don't want. Hear that out again. So your commitment on that why becomes greater, and the action is just the budgeting. Just like, for example, do you want to have a clean sink? Yes. What does that mean? Or a clean kitchen, I mean. You'll wash the dishes, clean the stove, maybe sweep and mop, right? Because you want to have a clean kitchen. It's not like, oh my God, I want a clean kitchen, but I'm going to leave everything there. It doesn't work that way. Same thing with budgets. You want to have more money in your savings account, set boundaries. And these boundaries are boundaries that can be readjusted. Like, they're like rubber bands. They can be stretched, but don't break them, because then you lose the control, or not even control, but you lose the commitment to yourself. You lose your word to yourself, and then that becomes like, oh, if I did it once, I could do it again. It's no big deal. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and she said this that was really, really powerful. She said, sometimes we forget, and I do this all the time, guys. I'm extremely guilty of this. We don't know what we're saying versus what we're doing. And the sad, like, not the sad part about that, but the thing is that, like, you say you want these things, but yet you're doing nothing about them. Nothing. So why waste your breath about it? Why not focus on what you really want? Because the actions are going to be what you really want. It's, if you choose yes to the budget, you're following your budget. If you choose no to your budget, that means you don't want it. Even though you say you do, you don't. Because the whole saying, actions speak louder than words. And so the same thing with your budget. It might be uncomfortable at the beginning, right? Because it's an uncomfortable belief system to say, oh, I'm going to give myself these. If you say, I'm going to give myself these limitations, immediately it's going to be like limited belief. I don't want to, like, it's crazy. But if you say, I'm going to not believe about the limitation, I'm going to give myself boundaries. Think about the words that are coming out of your, like, brain, or the words you're telling yourself is this: I don't want a budget because my budget limits me. Nobody wants to be limited. I want a budget because I'm going to set healthy boundaries for my money and my goals. Oh yeah, I want healthy boundaries for my monies and my goals. I don't want limitations on my money. I don't want limitations for myself, like, right? And so again, I invite you to start thinking about, first of all, what you want out of life. Do you want to be a homeowner? Do you want to own a car? Do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to have money in your savings? Do you want to make sure your kids, have money? Do you want to make sure that financially you can afford things? Do you want to make sure that, you have a retirement account? Do you want these things? And if you're committed, even if you're committed and you committed with $100 a month or whatever that looks like in your budget, because everybody's budget looks different according to their pay, according to their income. So if it's $100 a month versus the $1,000 a month, it doesn't matter. The commitment is it's not the how much you're putting, it's the fact that you're putting, because you already convinced your subconscious mind that you can do it. And so if you start with, let's just say $100, it will become easier for you to save $150. It will become easier for you to save $200. It'll become easier because now your muscle of the new belief system is starting to flex. It's starting to get, oh yeah, I got this. Oh yeah, I already saved $1,000. Oh, I could save $2,000. Oh, I could save $5,000. And before you know it, you save $100,000 easily, like my client did. right? Like her belief system about budgets were like, it's going to limit myself. I work too hard. I have X amount of children, like all these excuses. And I was like, okay, I know you have what it takes. You're so committed to so many things. What's really blocking you from you giving yourself healthy boundaries? And it was the real truth was I'm the one that needs to initiate them, and I need to be the one to talk to my spouse about them, and I need to be the one to execute them. And I don't know if I want to do that. It wasn't the money, it wasn't the budgeting, it was the conversation with spouse that was going to be the biggest thing. So, see, so just think about today as you listen to Wealthy Wednesday, and as you know, some of you have some amazing budget, like not budget, but some amazing commitments to yourself, is really ask yourself this: what's my bigger goal? Like, my bigger goal for me personally is to blow up my financial boot camp so that a lot more people get this information. Because I see a lot of posts about the systems doesn't treat, they should teach us about credit scores and all this in high school. I'm not going to wait for that to happen because unfortunately politics gets in the way of all that good stuff. So I'm not going to wait for that. I'm going to create it. And I did, and I have. It's now how many lives can I impact in a way that's going to transform their new belief system, that's going to alter their way of thinking, that's going to now shift the paradigm of their life. Like that stuff like fuels me like no other. Like I get lost in that so much, right? And so that's the new goal. And my second goal is I get to not only receive that amazing feeling of I'm changing lives, but I also get to be in contribution. So it's a win-win. You see? It's not a give me, give me, give me, give me, like give me your money so you can do financial boot camp. That's great. No, it's when I receive, I give. And I give without an expectation to receive. I just give. And when when I give in that form, it always 10 times fold. If you guys believe in God, which if you do, if you don't, that's your belief system. I do believe in God, and I believe in His magic. He always like 10 times fold every single time. It never fails. So give your budget the opportunity to be guided by the light of God, like the light of the fact that you think God sits there and says, well, today I want you to be broke. Today I want you to struggle. Today I want you to be in debt. Today I want you to be completely broke. I want you to be in debt. And I don't want you to ever be a homeowner in life. And I want you to struggle. Do you think God really says that to you guys? Like, I don't think He does. I actually think that those are all choices. And He wants greater for us. But unfortunately, we fail to see that because our little mind doesn't believe that that's actually what He wants for us. Because how can we believe that if we don't see it? We got to see it to believe it. Well, He's probably saying, okay, sister, okay, dada, you got to make sure you set boundaries and you learn to love yourself, because when you do, you will see the magic that will manifest. And so, again, today, what I want you to take away from budgeting is all the myths that or all the excuses that you have believed, not remove them, but do the opposite. If your excuse is time, then your answer is time. Within time, it will happen. If your excuse is it's hard, then the belief system is it's easy. If you're like, I don't make enough money, say I make enough money, because obviously if you have a cell phone, if you have things, you're making money. And so the goal is, just like it is the excuse, it could also be the answer. So whatever your excuse is about budgeting, it's also your answer. And how can you shift the same excuse to start looking at it from a healthy boundary to a healthy lifestyle, to a life not from ego, but from a life that God wants you to create? God is, I can seriously, like, I believe it with my soul, that God is sitting here in front of us, to all of us, and saying, I can't wait until she learns to know that I love her so much that she can love herself this way and create something magical. But as God, I'm giving it to her. She just has to learn to receive it. She just has to learn to be okay with actually getting what you want. Because the question comes down to, what happens when you get what you want? You're like, oh, this is it. There's no like, oh, it's like, wow, it got here way faster than what I thought. Oh my goodness. Um, and then your want will be a little bit more. Your why will get greater. Your why, again, I started with 8 people in boot camp, and now I wish, I want the exact number, but I don't know if I'll have the exact number. But I can be sure that we're at 1,000 people that we've impacted through financial boot camp in the last, what, 2.5, 3 years? Literally. From 8 people that I believed. I don't care if it was one person that I started with. And it's grown and it's going to continue to grow because my belief behind it is just getting started. And so, again, with all of you guys, same thing. Have the same conviction in your mind, body, and spirit that just like you've been really bad at budgeting, you convince yourself that you're really good at budgeting. Okay? So give yourselves permission to do that and to accomplish it, and then um, tag me. I love knowing your results. I love knowing that you did not waste 31 minutes of your life, that you've actually gave me 31 minutes of your life, and in return, you created value for yourself. And so, again, I invite all of you guys today to turn your myth, your excuse, to your answer, and to give yourselves permission to go ahead and be there. I'm going to tell you something. I was at a point in my life where I had like really, really shitty credit. Like I wouldn't even let myself borrow money. Let's just put it to you that way. And now I'm not telling you I have excellent credit, but I definitely have, a 720 plus FICO score. Just like I had really shitty credit, I now want over an 850 credit score. And I'm working towards that. I don't have to have an 850 credit score, right? Anything usually about 720 gets you pretty much everything. Tier 1, everything. But because I convinced myself and I said, just like I had really shitty credit, I'm going to give myself the opportunity to build to have top excellent credit. Just like I was really good at really shitty credit, I'm going to be really good at excellent credit. Same person, different belief system, and different belief system that created different results. The same individual, obviously your belief system changes and so forth, but you're in spectrum. This is credit, this is budget. If you were like this is shitty, right, and this is good, and you're up here, you have the power to just literally start doing this. Because look at this. Your excuses are really high, so the belief is not there. So as you continue to let go of the excuses and start using the excuses as the answers, it's just a matter of time before this happens. How quickly this is going to happen is really up to you, right? So again, I hope that today's Wealthy Wednesday was powerful for you guys. I hope that you guys go home and say, we're going to do a budget. And if you guys need help, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. My email is eva@evamacias.com. Don't message me because sometimes it's really hard. You guys can send me an email and reply as quickly as I possibly can. And if you want more information about the next financial boot camp, me and Velia are ready for 2021. We're super excited about it. Send us an email at eva@evamacias.com, and we will give you yes, we will give you further details. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for your time, your attention, and I can't wait to see the results of this Wealthy Wednesday. Again, have a fantastic rest of your Wealthy Wednesday. Bye, guys.